Where is the?
You might. I don't know if you need to adjourn, but you might wanna.
Before we restart?
Oh, unless you didn't post it that way.
We didn't close right into.
Oh, never mind,
Yeah.
ignore me.
Because we just weren't sure if we were gonna be right at 6:30 or over or under.
Yes, but I would have pretty it over, but here we are.
You did great, it was amazing.
It's only because I talked at 50 miles.
So
I was impressed you talked so fast and got the
What's that?
interactions as well.
Yeah, right, it was good.
Very good.
Oh, no, that's important, yeah. Because actually, that's the most important part. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you. Oh, okay.
And then if you could give me, do you wanna do a strategic plan for them or?
I do that, like I said, no, I mean, I do teach a strategic plan class. But, they're, like, I would recommend, like, Drew Howick is great on community engagement, and maybe we could talk about what you might need.
Sure.
And then, like, who might be the best match for that?
Drew or Jen?
Drew,
Oh, my zipper's
Joe,
down.
well,
Glad I caught that one.
but
you have a nice long t-shirt on. You have a nice long t-shirt, you're good.
That would've been horrible.
That'd
Had very good feedback, from folks about that, so.
I would have let you know if I had.
But yeah, but that's good.
Stand up.
Oh, you did stand up for the pledge, but I think your t-shirt's long.
But yes.
I was bad after that.
I will.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow, so we can
Sure.
shore some things up and try to figure it out.
Yeah, we can do that. Awesome. All right, so have a good meeting.
Drive safe.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Am I in as a public?
It was close, I loved it.
Am I in as
So-
how do I know that?
Thank you.
Go up here? No.
Thank you, Jen.
Log in.
Okay, so it's like up here.
Yeah, yes, you need to go up there and log in,
Okay,
and then you'll see
then I have the back,
all the executive.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have a little thing on my computer, it just happens.
She left some of her business cards in there.
Ooh, awesome, yes, please.
Okay.
How many
Thank you for
do you
handing
need?
those out. I was just
3?
wanting to make sure.
Okay.
I'll let you decide otherwise.
I just did a photo.
So let's pass out the papers.
Oops.
That's up
Do we have the ballot?
Oh, yes, okay, then I will pass this on down. Yep.
First door on the left
Left.
as well. I don't know if Tina's in there, the door's closed, she might be.
I need more water, yeah, more water here in the bathroom, okay.
I just noticed your shoes, I thought, holy cow, you're tall.
I am tall.
Oh,
Well, yes, I am.
Not that tall.
No, well, I have high shoes on, but I'm not a short girl.
Well, I,
I'm
how
5'9".
tall are you, Tiffany?
5'9".
Okay.
Are you giving like 2?
I'm giving 2 ideas.
Okay. You need them.
thank you all for arranging that.
More to come.
These are policies.
I have no, because I found the old one,
Sorry, no, I just.
Okay.
but then I talked to Amy,
I'm so
and she
mean out.
provided the new one that's been
Vulnerable.
It's much more vanilla. So for example, with committees, you appoint, but there's no description of whether that's the chair. There's no description of whether.
Well, I'm still gonna appoint one.
There's just no language about it.
Yeah, get it right.
Hard for me.
That is right.
Tiffany, do you remember, did you just write down your nominations and then somebody seconded and then you just voted?
And we started at
It
5.
says in the
Who knows
policy.
when we'll be out of here.
And I think
That's
it
a
says
little-
like all nominations.
Yeah, I don't think we need a second for nominations.
We do not.
The person just needs to agree that they're interested.
Correct.
And we need to make
That's it.
sure that there's no other nominations for
Yeah, but
the president.
like my,
And then
everyone says, yeah, I'll just.
You plan it.
And then you just vote, and then you just vote, and then whoever votes, votes. No, we
Oh, so
ballot.
you're counting that as your vote too, so you're nominating and voting at the same time?
No, nominating, everyone will nominate for that role,
Okay,
and then we'll vote.
perfect.
Yes, there's no second.
You could nominate someone and vote for someone else.
Okay, perfect.
You could.
Let me go grab a
No, I
little.
wouldn't.
Like if you really wanna be difficult.
Yeah. Some kind of a nebulous strategy.
Right.
Yes, I'm definitely eating a protein bar now, because who knows how long.
Oh my gosh, did you hear my stomach growl earlier?
I did.
Snacks in the corner if you need some.
I'm like, probably expired. I'm always cold. And I feel like,
Was that?
Yep, that's fine. That worked out nicely.
Plug it in, play.
Yeah, it's strange, when I download it from up there, it did the same thing with Michelle. I get it, it's all green. So then I have to reformat it quickly.
We'll have to figure that out.
How, it's a simple couple of clicks,
Okay.
no problem. What I think we'll do is, if you're okay with it, I'll try to keep up as much as I can. And if at any point I might be like, Amy,
right.
That's fine.
Is it cooled off outside yet?
A little bit, yeah. It's just, it's so good.
yeah, because it's warm in here.
I was playing with the dogs before I quick changed and ran in, so I'm a little bit.
So before you guys start, how beefy is the like closed session executive like agenda? Is that, because there's closed,
It's at the
Yeah,
end.
I don't know.
It's at the
two
end.
two state statutes at the end, just updates to the board, nothing decision wise.
so just like, is this one that I stick around for or one that I just?
Got it.
You know, the king of doing that was Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that guy would
Oh,
come.
yeah, that'll stick around
He'd
forever.
sit around, he'd sit for 3 hours.
Oh,
He was the king.
I know, I would sometimes get texts from Ben at like 11 PM or like 10:30 PM, like he just left and.
There was
that
one we
Nat
told
Sharp
him, it's like,
one
"All right, we're
was
probably gonna be here a while,
22.
if you wanna go get something to eat,
Oh,
come
it's
back.
massive.
We'll be here, don't worry. It's gonna be a while."
That makes a little bit more sense. Just let me know when you're ready.
No, I can.
Well, we are in open session. We had workshop prior to this, so. Okay, so we're just moving right on to the board spotlight on teachers.
So tonight we just decided that we equally split our schools and had all those great messages from the students throughout the year, and that's something that we absolutely will continue. But tonight I wanted to just say it was all about the teachers. So we had Teacher Appreciation Week and we had a wonderful event and so many people just treated us so well here and had such a great time. We honored some individuals for years of service. We had a wonderful luncheon. We had a comedian come in and kind of have a little bit of fun with everybody. We took a big team picture and just a lot of positive and camaraderie and just a really, really great time together. So really great feedback from the staff and just a wonderful week of celebrating them. So that's a shout out to our staff.
Alright. Okay, public comments? Niels?
Yeah, Niels Peterson. I was looking through the agenda today and I saw later on down, there's a topic about raising athletic fees. And it got me to thinking about the fees that we charge and some of the comments and discussions that happened on the board in the past regarding these options of families for free, reduce, and this and that. And I went onto the district website to see what those options were. And I had a really tough time trying to find even an application for that. So if a family comes into the district at a great financial situation and then has somebody that loses a job or has medical bills or whatever it is, I wouldn't know where to begin as a district member about where to even go for this application. Not to mention, it can be rather humbling and hard to admit that you need help. And then kind of the question behind the question was, have we looked at what those options are and have those thresholds that we offer for free and reduced been adjusted as we've gone through a severe inflationary cycle? So that families who may have been eligible, or may not have been eligible or eligible now because their incomes have not kept pace with inflation. So there's something to think about for the board to take back, and as we, especially with the busing policy coming up, just keep in mind that make sure that's accessible for all families in the district as we are one of the more economically disadvantaged districts in the rest of Arrowhead.
Thank you. Okay, that's it for public comments. All right, we're gonna move on to the election of school board positions. I'm gonna have Chris read our current policy on that.
It's a newly approved policy from Neola, policy 0152, titled officers. The board shall elect from among its members a president, vice president, treasurer, and a clerk. Such election shall occur at the annual reorganization meeting on or within 30 days after the fourth Monday in April. It references 2 statutes. Election of officers shall be by a majority vote of existing board members present at the board meeting. Secret ballots may be utilized only for the election of officers. Where no such majority exists on the first ballot, a second vote shall be cast for the 2 candidates who received the greatest number of ballot votes. Except for those appointed to fill a vacancy, officers shall serve for 1 year and until their respective successors are elected and shall qualify.
Okay, so for Chris and Matt, anyone can nominate for any officer role. There can be multiple nominations, say that we have 3 different people that are nominated for clerk. Then we will take to secret ballot, you'll vote for your person. We're gonna give Amy Holly, and then whoever has the most votes will receive the thing. There does not need to be a second for a nomination. If your name is nominated, just let us know that you're willing to serve as that role. All right, we get started? All right, so we are starting with president.
I'll start. I'd like to nominate Tiffany. I think from the work she's done in the past and stepping up here and moving forward and continue with the district, I'd like to see continuation of president.
Okay, I'll accept that.
I'd also like to nominate Chris. I think you do a great job communicating with the public as well. So I'd put your name out there as well, if you're interested.
I would accept it, that's the board's direction.
Anybody else? Okay, so put your vote.
Basket.
Can we just say out loud?
Mhm.
4-1 for Tiffany.
All right, moving on to VP.
I'd like to nominate Chris Hagman.
Do you accept?
I'd accept.
Okay. Any other nominations?
And nominate Amy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and vote.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Nope.
trying to catch it. Thank you.
Uh, 3 Chris, 2 Amy.
Okay. You accept, Chris? Okay. All right, clerk, no, treasurer's next, correct?
treasurer's next. Hold on, can you give me just a second?
Yep.
Thank you. Point of clarification. Do I need to capture the vote count? Does anyone know?
I would say yes.
Okay, I need a moment. Thank you for your patience. Where are we, treasurer?
Yes,
Thank you.
we're good?
Now we're good.
Okay,
I'd like to nominate Matt for treasurer. Matt, I thought talked an awful lot about financial background and is interested in it, and I think you would be excellent, sir. I really do.
do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, let's vote.
Thank you.
I'll approve now.
Did I get 5?
Yes.
Awesome.
Somebody was hired as a treasurer, yes.
It was not
But it wasn't just one.
Let me know when you're ready, Chris.
I'll clean up the rest later, as long as I got what I need,
Sure.
I can clean it later.
Okay. Clerk, I'd like to nominate Chris. It's a very extensive job.
I'll accept.
Okay, any other nominations? All right, let's vote.
I'll accept Chris.
All right, so that concludes our officer roles. So I will remain president, Chris Haglund is vice president, Matt is treasurer, and Chris Adsid is clerk. So now what we're going to do is appoint people to committees and chairs. So per our new policy, that will be something I do. So I would like to start off with policy committee. I'd like to appoint Amy to policy.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And I'd like to appoint Chris to policy.
I accept.
Okay. I'm gonna do committees and then go back and do chairs.
Okay.
Finance committee, I'd like to appoint Matt. And I'd like to appoint Chris.
I accept.
You accept?
Yes.
Okay. So for chairs, I'd like to appoint Chris Adsid to the policy chair and Matt to the finance chair. Okay. And then we have a CISA representative that I'd like to give to Amy.
Actually, I can't attend tomorrow night.
Well,
For vote, I'd rather do WASB. Because there's really nothing to do for CISA other than attend the meeting to vote for representation, and I can't attend tomorrow night.
It is the only thing that it's their responsibility.
okay.
I don't,
And I couldn't attend last year because of our superintendent meetings.
Okay. Tina, have you ever, do people, well, there's really no reason to give a role to two people or to one person. I'll appoint you WASB and I'll give CISA to Chris,
Okay.
if you accept that. Or can you go to the meeting?
I'll make it work.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
that concludes everything.
policy, finance, and CISA?
Yep.
Okay, just make sure I didn't miss anything.
Okay,
What about the WASB delegate?
me.
What?
Amy.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I was thinking. Thank you.
All right. On to committee reports. Finance.
Yeah.
That's all you.
So we met on last Monday, the 13th. Pleased to report that through efforts in the office, school fees, excluding lunch fees, are a third of what they were in January. So we really made progress on collection of school fees. Lunch fees really went up the past month. So Amy was sending out applications to all the families. To Neil's point from earlier today, just making sure that if families hadn't applied and wanted to apply because their financial situation had changed. We also talked about potentially using some of the angel funds to help balance that up at the end of the year and opening that up to families to make additional contributions specifically for that.
Did you say lunch fees were up?
Increased, yeah, unpaid lunch balances, yeah. Unpaid lunch balances, sorry. And then Superintendent Vogelman managed to negotiate another 2% decrease in our health insurance premiums for the district. Woo-hoo. So she's got us 4% down from what they initially came to us with, so that's a huge improvement in the budget as well. One of the other things we discussed was just keeping track of the extra expenses for the North Library renovation, not only the ones that we've contracted out, but just within district costs as well, so that we have an idea of what we're spending on that. And then we reviewed the food service contract renewal at the Finance Committee meeting as well and recommended approval of that. That's part of our consent agenda tonight. And I think that's it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
For the record, there was no policy committee meeting because of the transition of the board. We didn't have a quorum of committee members to have a policy meeting until after tonight. So there won't be a policy or curriculum meeting update.
Okay. All right, moving on to consent agenda. You guys both received my email about consent. I actually, the very thing that I said we try not to do, I had lots of questions for some of these things, but I think they were all answered at this time. I think could potentially be some exploration on a couple of these topics going further, but most of these we need to be compliant in and get signed. So I'm not asking to have anything pulled at this time.
So I would motion to approve the consent agenda items.
I'll second it. All in favor? Okay.
Pretty fast. You seconded?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Was that unanimous?
Yes. Consent is approved. Okay, Tina, ready for your superintendent report?
Yes, so nothing but cheer. It's our last board meeting before the school year ends, so just want to make sure that we saw all the great things. Last Wednesday was like probably the best day. It was so exciting, and I discovered the path between North Shore Middle School and South and walked it several times with Amy as we took advantage of a wonderful benefit for our staff. Rish got figured out for parent or teacher appreciation week to delay a little coffee truck for last Wednesday. At the same time, we got an agreement with the STEM shuttle, which we saw at the WASB convention and thought, wow, this is really incredible. What a great experience, innovative way to bring science to our students, and what a great connecting piece with the Eclipse, which was also just an incredible event for our students. And so we brought them in, and they were here for 2 days. Normally they are only at the schools for 1, and Delta Dental, if you provide, they are your provider. Then they pay for that first day, so we worked real hard, and Heidi, I think, got us the Milwaukee tool to pay for the second day, so what a great thing that we got to do that. Totally gratis and really exciting, and then on top of it, Fox 6 News came and did a little check-in with us, and then the Waukesha Freeman came and did a little write-up, so really great positive press, and I just can't say enough about the great work from South and that fun and exciting experience, and of course a special shout out to Heidi for really kind of bringing this whole thing together. So that was a really great thing. We also have a very exciting this week, so lots of positives sent to North Shore Middle School and some fifth graders, I believe, from South who are all competing in the state math competition the next couple of days. So let's see how they do. They've done such a great job, and what an incredible program and support that our students have in Math Club, and so we're really looking forward to them representing and doing a great job for us. And then we have a nice, beautiful, long weekend this weekend coming up. It's what did we say last week in admin? Last week, Friday was our last Friday of the school year in session. I believe that's what we determined. We have one more? Oh, do we have one more? We were thinking that, oh no, you know what it was? It wasn't our last Friday, it was my son's last Friday. As a senior, what it is, it was our last full week, right? So we have 4-day weeks going forward. So kids are excited, the weather's just really got them really excited to be outside and enjoy the 9 Square and all the wonderful things that HLEF and other groups have sponsored and helped us with. So really just nothing but fun and love and excitement going out there for our kiddos and our staff and our schools. So that's my report for today.
Thank you. Amy?
Yes, first up is our monthly financial report. So at the end of April, we had just over $8 million in cash in our bank accounts, which is fantastic. It only lasts so long, so but as you can see, in our Fund 10, our general fund, everything seems to be on target. We should be around 83% at this time. Salaries will jump greatly in June when we do the teacher check payout. But you can see we're basically in line with what this time last year. Our big deposits in April, we do get some more tax money, which was about $180,000, and then we had some state funds come in as well. Fund 21 is our donation or fundraising account. So that is money that is already in those accounts or additional funds coming in. Fund 27 is our special education. That does need to balance every month, so I do a transfer from Fund 10 to Fund 27 to balance that out. For Fund 46, that is our capital improvement, so you will see revenue. We are still getting 5.5% interest on those dollars, so it's been a great year for that as well. Fund 50 is food service. It is showing a negative, but I would just like to remind you, we did purchase some capital equipment, 2 dishwashers and a freezer this year to spend down the fund balance. DPI only allows us to carry so much, so we did spend some of that down. And then Fund 81 is the community service, which is just the daycare. And you can see she has a small surplus, even though she did that playground remodel. So the district is sitting really well at this time. But like I said, there will be some big decreases coming up, so I just like to put that reminder out. Are there any questions on the monthly financials at this time? Okay. Next topic, it is a discussion and decision. It is on the North Library circulation desk. I do have in 4 docs the quote from Demco, which is a state company that is doing the shelvings and other pieces for the library renovation. And then when we were at finance, there was a suggestion for photo, just so people can see kind of what we're looking at getting at this time. It was not in our original proposal when we brought it to the board a couple months ago. At this time, we are asking for that to be considered, to be added. Obviously, it is a major piece of the library. With all the new renovations and things, we would like to buy something that actually matches the direction that we're going in. And we do have the funds available in Fund 10. It was not budgeted, but we do have some of those dollars that we can spend. Are there any questions on that or?
Was the plan, this is, it wasn't budgeted, because I know they're redoing everything, was the plan to use the old desk as well? Or it just wasn't, like it was just a miss, or you know, or was it just like?
I believe we were thinking about trying to renovate it a little bit, but Heather's
No,
here.
the plan wasn't to use the old desk, but when we presented the library plan, we didn't know what we wanted. We were still sort of like figuring out where, spatially, where everything would go. And we weren't positive, we knew, I wanted to talk to the librarian who's in there now and figure out like what would make the most sense. So once we did that, and started looking, then it became clear to me that we didn't put that in the plan, and yet it is a major part of the library, and we ordered shelving through Demco from the grant that we received, and this matches that same shelving, so it would fit really well. It's modular, and it has the different heights that you need in the library. It has the book drop in it, and so again, we weren't sure what we wanted or what direction we wanted to go with the circulation desk, and we were kind of working with Greg at that time too, who has designed some things, but nothing that would be everything that he could design when talking to him would come out at the same price. He talked to people he knew, and everywhere you look, you're looking around the same amount of money for a desk. So anyway, that's kind of how it happened. We just weren't sure.
That's fine, yeah, thank you.
I guess my question too would be, that was just an add-on, is there anything else that we see that's possibly added into this other project going down that we have?
That should be
Not
it.
sure.
I think everything else is in place. That was the last piece. But everything else has been ordered, it's in place. The library's coming along, starting to take shape and look really good. The paint is going on the walls and things are coming, windows are coming out, and so you can see kind of the direction a little bit.
I would add, just as a secondary clarifier on this, so we care a lot about our Greg, and we have a lot of projects that are so exciting between the parking lot and the roof and the carpet, and to better utilize him as the director of buildings and grounds rather than having him in a shed somewhere cutting wood and creating a circular desk when it would cost the same amount as it would be for us to just buy something and get it installed. I think that is a better use of district funds as far as his time and energy.
Any more discussion?
Just a question, I was typing some notes as you were talking. Was there any other bids or just the one?
We have this bid. We did have a comparable, as Heather mentioned, she did have Greg kind of price things out, and then he also reached out to another cabinet maker that he knew, and they both determined that it would be roughly the same amount if either one of them.
I imagine this is a really specialized thing. It's
Yes.
not like I can get one from Menards and one from Home Depot. This is very special to education. So,
Well, and plus the same company, Demco, is the company that makes it. So if you were to buy one from Demco and then like find somewhere, some other outlet, they wouldn't match one another. So you want them all to be,
Okay.
Thank you.
aesthetically pleasing.
sorry about that. I was typing and I missed if there was some reference to that.
Okay.
Do a motion to approve purchase of the desk.
I'll second that.
So just know, for the new people, it's always important for us to include the dollar amount that we're approving. So I was just about to say, let's add the 14, but you seconded it. So now we have to, actually,
Amend.
well, we can amend or we can vote and reject it and do a new motion. So.
Okay, just a moment. Let's
Hold on, let's
do
see if
exactly what was motion. Motion did that, and then I couldn't hear because he turned to you, so I'm sorry.
Can you remember your words?
Motion to approve buying the desk. Okay, my motion. Thumbs up.
No, that's fine, just hold on, just give me just a quick second. It was seconded by
Chris.
Hague. I'd like to motion to amend the motion on the floor to read, to approve the North Library Circulation Desk quote from Denco for $14,546.75.
I'll second that.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Hold on, it's not approved.
No, we voted on the amendment.
Now the
So just first,
I'm not-
for the new people, I wanna take it slow here. So when we amend something, we have to vote to amend it. And then we actually have to vote on the new verbiage of the motion. So that's what we are doing now. So go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so then I'll read it for you. So now the amended motion currently on the floor that needs to be either discussed or voted on is to approve the North Library Circulation Desk quote from Demco for $14,546.75.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes to approve the North Library Circulation Desk.
Thank you.
And then Amy Holly will look at notes after, just in case.
All right, discussion and decision, oh, actually, I'm taking over for Amy, you go ahead.
This has been an exciting time for our athletic extracurriculars. We did bring it in-house for this year. We do have a new athletic director coming up for the following year, but in the business office doing it, we realized a couple things. And one of them is we have a lot of current volunteer coaches and things with a very small budget. So what we are proposing at this time is that we do raise the athletic fee. It has not been raised in more than 10 years. I do have comparables if we need to look at them for other districts in the area. And then also setting the club fee for elementary and sports, they have the same from $30 to $40. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
Actually, I had the same questions to me on this with the reduced lunch Thursday. Does that also apply with athletic fee?
It applies to any additional fees outside of lunch, so it could be school fees, athletic fees, field trips, anything of that nature.
So just to clarify, if we approve the increase of the fee, that's covering what exactly?
What we would like to do is offer a stipend for some of our volunteer coaches, because at this time they've been doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. And like I said, most of our coaches are volunteers at this time, so we would like to implement a small stipend for them. Otherwise, our clubs are run by our teachers at this time, and they do get payment for those hours. So it's really for those additional coaches that have come in and done such a great job for us.
I know in rec sports, they're often, if a parent volunteers to be a manager or take on an additional role, the fees of that student are waived. I don't know, is that anything we would consider to help maybe get more volunteers? Or is that defeating the purpose of raising the fees? I mean, it would just be for the one family. No.
I believe they've done that here and there in the
Okay.
past. We haven't had anything written that way. So we were just trying to kind of firm up
Okay.
policy.
Do we have
procedures.
trouble getting volunteers? Is that, I
We
mean,
have had for certain seasons trouble, and then we've had some high school students who have stepped up. The only problem with high school
AMSAC.
students is.
and that didn't go well, did it?
Well, They should be, I mean, if you're going to be supervising students, you should be at least 18. So then if we had somebody who was interested and they were 17, then we still needed to find an adult to be with them, so.
Okay.
I think some level of stipend just has some responsibility for, like, if you volunteer, it's like, oh, sorry, I couldn't make it and I'm not getting paid for this, but
Yeah.
you're getting paid like $100. It's like, well, they're paying me $100, I better show up because I've got a stipend, so you might encourage not just people to do it, but a little responsibility once you do it, so.
I absolutely agree with that, and I, just gonna be very, very humble about the whole situation. Really, just a lot of work has been done by Cindy Romanesco and Amy in this area in developing a handbook for next year and really getting systems in place and making sure the processes and procedures are in place so that things run smoothly. And AMSEC and bringing in one of our teachers to be our athletic director and really be the mouthpiece of this is really exciting, getting it out of central office because it's just a lot to try to figure out how we're gonna do that. And absolutely have heard from community members, boy, I think you might get a little bit more help if you pay your volunteers. Now, when we look at volunteers, we're looking at head volunteers for right now as far as stipends are concerned, but certainly things that we're gonna look at going forward, and just phenomenal work by these two for taking care of those things, so thank you for that.
And I'd say that most of the feeder schools in the surrounding districts also pay their volunteer coaches, so in order to keep up with standards. And then just to clarify, so the increase in fees from $30 to $40 is both for the early elementary school club fee and sports, as well as here at North Shore Middle School, so just across the board, $40, okay.
I was just gonna ask that too.
Yeah.
So Tina, are you recommending that the stipend portion be part of a separate discussion? Or are you talking, bring that into tonight's?
No, we're not bringing it
Okay.
in tonight.
No, we're just looking for the fee increase.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll motion, Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the athletic and club fee increase as presented.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Athletic and club fees are approved to increase. Okay.
And then at your area, I do have the latest vehicle hazards transportation plan. We did have 3 more areas reviewed by the Waukesha Sheriff, which was North Avenue or at Hartbrook Drive and westbound South 16. There's an on-ramp corner that was concerning. There's also the Arrow Heights subdivision, and then we also looked at Still Meadow subdivision. The sheriff felt that the North Avenue on-ramp was not of concern, but they did determine that Arrow Heights subdivision should be deemed hazardous for North students, and that Still Meadow subdivision is deemed hazardous for South students. Still Meadow is far enough for North that there already would be bus, so they're just deeming it for the South students. They feel that the middle school students can handle the walk. If the board approves this, I will send this off to the state for the last hazardous plan to be considered for this year, and then we'll go into our transportation committee to look at everything else. Yes.
I am shocked and dismayed that the sheriff did not approve that crosswalk section at Hartbrook and westbound 16 on-ramp. That is a very, very busy intersection. And the fact that they approved the Arrow Heights to Heartland North for the same age group of students, it's okay to go through that very busy intersection. That's dismaying. I'm hoping that we're keeping track of all these places that have been denied, so then when we do our transportation meeting, we can decide maybe as a community that we disagree with the sheriff when we want to cover those areas.
Yeah.
But I'm not impressed.
Are we just approving you to submit this for reimbursement? We're not making a decision, that, my understanding, the plan will be sorted out next year, we've got a temporary plan for next year,
Yeah,
right?
it's just to approve to send them on to the state.
It allows for students that are less than 2 miles to, we can receive $15 per
Oh,
student.
I get that.
Yeah.
But it makes us compliant.
It does make us compliant, yes. No transportation is changing for next year. It's just, we're trying to get these things in place and then we'll be talking huge picture for the transportation as a whole.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the submitted unusually hazardous transportation plan.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. UHT plan is approved. Wow, we're just moving right through tonight. Future board or committee action or discussion items, so you got, Chris and Matt, this is what, if you have something that you would like to see put on the agenda for the future, not necessarily next month, but for the future, this is when you'd bring it up. We don't talk about it, we just bring it up. Anyone?
One thing that I'd like is I'd like us to seriously look at doing a school board retreat.
Yep, I think that's on Tina's radar already, yeah.
I love that slide, I think we're ready, and it'll move us into strategic planning very well.
I would also like to get on the schedule, parliamentary workshop, just in terms of Robert's rules, how to make motions, how to amend, how to table things, all that good stuff that you guys are sitting here wondering about. So I'd like that to be our next training.
I will say that, just as a point of reference on this, it's really hard to find somebody to come into our small 5-person board. It's best
Okay.
for us to try to locate somebody
And
to
go to-
go to.
Okay,
Which is what we've done previously, so, as we work toward trying to figure that out, I will absolutely keep this board informed.
okay. Anyone else have any other things? I think, oh, go ahead.
So there's no discussion, we're just bringing these up, we're gonna talk about them.
Yep, when they get put on the agenda. Okay, I had mentioned I had some lingering questions about some stuff in consent. We needed to get our service food contract signed, so I didn't wanna stop us on that, but I would like us to explore other options for our school lunch
Other than
program, yes. Yeah, all I hear is complaints from the kids about how disgusting the food is, how there isn't enough portion-wise, that I don't know if there's something out there, and I wasn't prepared to bring like information to the board about it, cause I haven't done enough research on it, but I'd like us to explore it, and I'd like us to involve the kids in terms of feedback. I realize that, you know, they may say they want cookies and cakes for lunch, but I just think they're the ones eating it. It would be nice to hear what they like, what they don't like. I know my kids complain about the portions, and I know there's some DPI regulation there, but I would just like us to explore it, because I think it's part of wellness, you know. Anything else? Okay, so PPC meeting, Amy and Chris.
My only difficulty is I travel to Madison and my schedule is difficult to commit to particular times. That's the only hard part, unless we did early morning or later evening. During the day meetings are very difficult for me to do the job. So if you'd like to do early morning or after work, the only night I could commit to would probably be Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesdays work for me. I'd rather do that than a morning, cause I'm having to take the kids into high school most mornings.
Okay. Yeah, and for me, morning, I'm talking like 6 a.m.
Yeah, no, we're leaving to go to the high school.
See, Tina's very excited about the possibility.
My house at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
It's all good. I would do it, I would
we
do
have
it, I'm committed.
to take that into consideration. So what's the earliest you can meet on a Wednesday then, so that we can get Tina home at a decent hour?
Just a moment. I gotta look at a regular week.
Well, they're doing
Because we have
that.
to meet this month, so, right, so we, either the 22nd or the 29th, so we have our May meeting.
I cannot the 22nd.
Sorry, you said you can't? Okay.
No, this entire weekend, booked each night. Unless you wanna do it Friday. I actually would have to check with the wife and see if we're gonna be in town, I don't even know.
29th?
Yeah, why don't we do the 29th?
I feel like something's on my calendar, but it's not on this one, so. Cross-reference? No, that's the one.
I'm gonna be potentially out of town.
On the 29th?
For Memorial Day weekend in a couple days.
Oh, sure.
Sorry, it's the end of the
No,
month.
don't be sorry, it's good, we just gotta look at a calendar here. What about the 5th of June?
So we're just gonna combine 2 PPC meetings into one?
Well, we're looking at the 3,000, 4,000, so it's enough to do
As long as
that.
we get in before the next board meeting, unless you guys wanna look at. Amy, do you work on Friday?
I don't.
What about Friday the 31st, early afternoon? Do that.
I can do that.
Tina, would that work for you?
Sure, what time would you like to do that?
How about at 2 p.m.?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
So finance, Amy and I already did the May finance meeting, so this would be for June. So, it's all you guys work with Amy and her availability. Well,
I
and
mean, are there
Tina's.
days that, I mean, they've traditionally done them on like Mondays at around lunchtime or something,
Yeah,
or
we,
late morning
like
or,
11:15.
but I have a decent amount of flexibility in my job, so
I'm kind of in the middle of the day, stuck a little bit, mornings and afternoons.
that's
get up
fine.
earlier.
That's why I said I got flexibility, so what,
Either Monday morning or Monday afternoon, that's not a big deal.
what take, Amy? Here's yours.
We usually have admin.
So we have admin 9:30 to 10:30, directors from 11 to 11:30, so if we can do like an 11:45 start,
Was Fridays better?
Fridays are better.
Fridays are usually slower at work, so we work some, Fridays would be better for me.
How early can you go on Friday?
9 o'clock.
Sure. Or Black Friday, we would work.
So that, it would help if it was June 7th, because, let me make sure, yes. Usually we like to try to get it at least a week before the board meeting. That way, if there's things that come up, it gives us a little time based on our discussion at finance. So June 7th,
Sure, at 9 AM, we said?
9 a.m.
There are some times when I'm not there and that's okay, the meeting can still go on, that will be one of them. My son graduates that weekend, so I'm gonna bow out on that Friday.
Okay.
You put 2 rookies there without you showing up.
You guys can handle it, I have all the
Yeah.
confidence in the world.
Okay, so the next school board meeting is Monday, June 17th. Is everyone good with that? Are we having executive session?
Yes, absolutely.
5:30, 6? Hopefully not 5.
5:30.
Okay.
And I'm-
5:30 executive session? Okay.
And then, sorry, what time did we agree to for PPC?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Friday,
okay.
May 31st.
Thank you, okay.
And then, Amy, if you'd like, we can go back and forth and try to find a
Standing.
routine time, hopefully. And then, of course, if job requirements get in the way, we'll move them around.
Mondays and Fridays I'm very flexible for the most part.
Okay.
We'll be able to-
We might even be able to do it Monday on the off weeks from board meetings.
Yeah,
Might work
just let me
too.
know.
Okay. So would the open be at 6:30 then for the June 3rd, 17th meeting?
Regular session at 6:30.
Thank you.
Alright. That concludes our regular meeting, so we need to motion to move into executive.
I'll make a motion to move into executive session.
Second.
Okay, I'm gonna roll call on this. Chris? Amy?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Okay, we're in closed session. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.